Welcome back to my masterclass. For many of you who have purchased your first home, or you're just thinking about purchasing your first home, one of the important factors in the agreement of purchase and sale, which is a contract between yourself and the seller, is a title search date, and that date is normally 15 days before final closing. And final closing is when the name of the property is transferred from the buyer to seller, and title, your name is put on title. So that's a legal document that's registered with the province and the government that shows that you have ownership of the property. Now this date is important because if there's a lien on the property, or there's some other encumbrance, as we would call it, on the property, and your lawyer hasn't notified the other side by the time that title search date has passed, you may be liable to deal with that issue on your own, rather than something that is mitigated through the process of the purchase or the sale. So my recommendation is always make sure that you have a good lawyer who is a real estate lawyer and who can make sure that they follow these guidelines. What I've noticed throughout my 17 years is, even though there is a title search date on the agreement of purchase and sale, many times that date will get missed. Lawyers who understandably have many closings on their desk will miss this title search date, and then retroactively go back and speak to the other side's lawyer to try to rectify it. Now, normally it's not an issue. The lawyer on the other side understands the title search date has been missed, but they've probably been in the exact same situation, and they're amenable to rectifying any issues on title. However, sometimes you have an issue on title that is not rectified, and if you miss the date, this can become a major issue. Recently, I had one of a client of mine. She had purchased 4 or 5 years ago a new construction property. The property was delayed, and she just recently got her keys. Now, when she got her keys, what a lot of builders do is they rented her some of the equipment. So the HVAC was a rental, as well as the air conditioning unit was a rental. And these rental items are actually registered on title. So when you sell the property, it has to transfer to the new ownership, or it has to be bought out, usually at a significant sum. The sum of this particular unit was $11,000, so it's significant. Now, in the agreement of purchase and sale, when my client had sold this property, in the agreement of purchase and sale, it specified that there was going to be a rental for the hot water tank, but it didn't mention the AC. At the time of the sale, my client was unaware that the AC was also rented. They hadn't procured the documentation, so they weren't aware. They thought it was just the hot water tank or the HVAC. At any rate, this became an item of dispute, because when it came time for closing, the buyers understandably didn't want to assume the full value of the contract, and the seller didn't want to. They wanted them to assume the whole value of the contract, since they were going to be utilizing the equipment, and it also came with warranty. At the end of it, the issue became the lawyer on the other side was, in my opinion, maybe not as experienced in real estate law as they should be. They had missed the title search date, and they would have noticed that this was registered on title. They only got back to the seller's side 2 or 3 days before with the issue on title. Therefore, they had missed the date. Obviously, there was no meeting of the minds. So their client had to assume the hot water tank and the air conditioning unit, even though if they had maybe made mention of it sooner, that would have given more time to negotiate amicable settlement, and made sure that both sides were satisfied, instead of one side maybe being more satisfied than the other. This is just a prime example why the title search date is so important. So make sure you have an experienced lawyer. Get someone, again, who's recommended, interview lawyers, and make sure there's someone who's going to be responsive to your call. If you're giving the lawyer a call and asking them questions in the interim before closing, and you're not getting the appropriate responses or in a timely manner, chances are when it's time to close, that may be a similar situation. So of course you want a lawyer with experience, but you also want a lawyer who has the time to take on your file and make sure things of this nature, like title search date, aren't missed, as they're a very important part of the agreement of purchase and sale and very important part of the process.